Hey there, it's Mark Antonio. In this video, we're going to talk about time management tips for salespeople so you can squeeze more time and productivity out of each day. If you ask most salespeople what holds them back from getting the results they desire, one of the most common answers you'll hear is, I need to manage my time better, or I just don't have enough time. I mean, how often have you heard someone say something like, I know I should be making those extra calls. I know I should be following up on my prospects. I know I should be networking more and meeting more people so I can expand my circle of influence. But I just don't have the time. I mean, I have kids I need to take care of. I have a family I have to spend time with. Well, if the worst thing that you ever end up doing in your life is putting your family first, you'll have lived the best life you could ever live. In fact, that's why we're working. So we can take care of our family, so we can have as many moments, memories, and experiences with them as possible. But in order for us to have those moments, memories, and experiences with them, we need the resources to do it. The interesting thing about time is we're all time rich. We all have the same amount of time per day as the richest man or woman in the world. We all get 24 hours every single day like clockwork. I mean, if you think about it, the only people that don't have time aren't with us anymore. It's not that we don't have the time. We don't have priorities, myself included at times. Okay, so what do? Well, we've all heard it before. Time is money, right? Well, if time is money, why don't we buy time? How do we do that? Well, we do it by buying other people's time for less than what we sell it for. We do it by hiring people, outsourcing what we can, and investing in systems. Now, what if we don't have the money or the resources to do that? Well, if that's the case, we're going to have to get very militant with the time that we do have and become a time Nazi until we can get to that position. And the only way that's going to happen if we're a salesperson is if we produce. So here are 5 time management tips that will help you produce more as a salesperson. Tip 1, physically prepare your day the night before. Research your clients, how long it will take you to drive to and from your appointments, if that's the case, and plan your schedule for the next day the night before as opposed to the morning of. When you plan your day the night before, you let your agenda stew in your subconscious mind as you sleep, so when you wake up you're fresh, you don't have to consciously think about it, you know exactly what to do, and you can hit the ground running. Tip 2, as a salesperson, we want to be sure we're doing the most productive things at the most productive times, and the most productive things that we could be doing as salespeople is to be in front of a client or a prospect. And if we're not in front of a client or prospect, we want to make sure that we're doing whatever we have to put ourselves in front of one. With that being said, make sure you load up your calendar with proactive activities that will get you closer to your outcome, and prioritize your calendar in this order. First and foremost, appointments with clients have priority over anything and everything, period. We can't close business unless we're in front of a client or we've got them on the phone. Second, follow up on prospects that haven't bought yet by phone, email, text, personal visits, and lunch invites. The research shows that only 2% of business is closed on the first contact, and 80% of business is closed between the 5th and the 12th contact. And get this, only 44% of salespeople make only one follow-up call after meeting with a client. That's ugly! The money's in the follow-up. It's not sexy, but it's what works. Third, participate in as many networking groups, business associations, or chambers of commerce as you can make sense of. But when you go to these groups, don't go and be like most people to be a taker, a parasite, or a leech and see what you can suck out of the group. Instead, join these groups to be a credible source of information for the group and to establish long-term relationships. For example, maybe you offer to do free talks or presentations to the group, answering the most commonly asked questions that people have about your industry, problems within your industry, your product, or what you do. By doing this, you'll actually establish authority and credibility with the members there, and you'll be the go-to person for the members of that group and their own respective networks. It's very important that when you go to these groups, you give 100 times more to the group than you think you have to. And it'll only be a matter of time until you have more business coming to you from the group than you could have ever imagined. Tip 3, wake up before dawn to get a head start on the competition. And when you set your appointments with clients, aim for the earliest times possible. There's nothing like starting off the day with a sale and creating positive momentum for the rest of the day. If you don't have an appointment, start making follow-up calls and sales calls at 9 a.m. on the dot in whatever time zone you're doing business in. And spend any extra time that you might have before appointments or phone calls role-playing your presentation or overcoming objections with a coworker or with yourself in your own mind. As top salespeople, we want to practice, train, drill, rehearse. Practice, train, drill, rehearse. Practice, train, drill, rehearse. Don't overlook this. Even if you're a seasoned vet, the top performers across all fields do this. Seasoned vets or not. For example, what does every championship sports team do the days they don't have games? They practice, they train, they drill, and they rehearse, don't they? And those are world-class, cream of the crop, multi-millionaire performers. Tip 4, block yourself from websites like ESPN, Amazon, Netflix, eBay, and TMZ.com. Unless you use these sites for business, there's no benefit from being on them whatsoever. It's really easy to get distracted on these sites. I mean, how often have you gone to a site to quickly check the score from last night's game or take a minute to check the price on something that you wanted to buy online, only to find out that you spent a full hour there when you could have been working? It happens more than we want it to, right? There are actually tools that you can find online like Rescue Time and BlockSite to lock you out of websites during work hours so you can stay focused and be more productive. Tip 5, be very strict, militant, and even stingy with your time. There are countless of people that have made millions of dollars, lost it all, and then got it all back. But there's nobody in life that will ever get this back, is there? See, you'll have well-meaning people or coworkers unknowingly try to take you off track by asking you about last night's game, your thoughts on the elections, or your plans for the upcoming holidays. But you have to be polite and firm and let them know you have work to do and that you'll get back to them after work hours. At first, people might be taken back by it, but in the long run, they'll actually respect you for it because you're doing what they know they should be doing. So to summarize, plan your day out the night before. Prioritize your day with income-producing activities. Wake up before dawn to get a head start on the competition, block yourself from any unproductive websites, and militantly protect your time from people that might unknowingly try to take you off track. Follow these 5 tips, and you'll be sure to squeeze more time and productivity out of each day. So here's what to do next. If you like tips like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos just like this. We'll see you next time.